what do you think? Why rich people become more richer and poor people become more poorer with the time? See, there are many things that create a difference, but it is mainly because of their mindset, how they spend their money. Hi everybody, this is Nikhil Raj. In this video, I'll be talking about the difference between the asset and liability. Rich people invest more of their money in the asset and very less in the liability. While poor people mainly invest in the liability and there is no money in the asset or very little in the asset. I'm sure you heard this word asset कि हमें asset buy करना चाहिए. But do you know asset होता क्या है? Anything that puts money in our pocket, that is asset. For example, land, inventory, stocks, bond, golds, etc. So why it is called as assets? Because their value always increasing with the time. And so what is the liability? Anything that takes money out of our pocket, that is liability. For example, our home loans, smartphones, etc. To understand this, let's take some real-time example from our surrounding. So what do you think? Our house is an asset or liability? Pause the video and think about it. Our house is a liability. But तुम पूछोगे कैसे? Even it provides us a shelter, we don't have to pay rent to any other person. But still, it is a liability. Because there might be a home loan we need to pay regularly. There is a maintenance cost also. As well as with the time, its value will be increasing. So it's always take money out of our pocket. Until and unless the house is a real estate investment, it is always a liability. Now coming to the next example. Okay, what do you think about our vehicles like car, bike, scooty, etc.? Our car is a liability. As soon as we buy the car, we need to pay a lot of taxes to the government. Regularly, we need to pay for the petrol. There is a maintenance cost also. And its value always depreciates very fastly. Even we buy a car today, let's say today, after 2 hours, if we are going to sell that car, no one is going to buy at the base price also. So it always takes money out of our pocket. So car is always a liability. We have discussed liability by taking 2 of the real-time examples from our surrounding. Now let's take some example of the assets. Our commercial property is an example of asset, which includes our agricultural land, properties, stores, renting a house, etc. To understand it, let's take a very basic example of agricultural land only. There are 3 main benefits of having agricultural land. First, it provides us food for the family. Second, the income earned through the agricultural land, we don't have to pay any tax at all on that particular income. Third, with the time, its value will be always increasing. So having agricultural land is a great asset. Do you know who is the biggest farmer of America? Bill Gates. He owned 269,000 acres of land, which grows cotton, fruits, vegetables, etc. All the billionaires and hedge fund managers are heavily investing in the farming land because it's a stable asset. Buying a farming land is now a good investment in nowadays. Let's take second example of an asset, that is stock. In common language, it is also called as shares or some part of the company. We buy some shares of a company that we believe in future it will grow. With time, its value will be increasing. After 2 years, 5 or 10 years down the line, we'll sell this share and make profit out of it. So basically, stocks is an asset. We don't have to put any extra effort to make it grow, but with time we'll be making some money out of it. What do you think about our skill set? For example, video editing, coding, dancing, cooking, teaching, etc. Our skill set is an asset or liability. I personally believe it is one of the best assets. So we should invest more in these skill sets so it will give in future enormous amount of returns. Because this will be always stay with us, right? And it will pay us a humongous return in the future. Our fourth example of an asset is real estate. Real estate is also a promising asset. To understand this, I will take my own friend father example. 2 years back, he started building a commercial complex in a small town. Due to the requirement of additional fund, he has taken a 30 lakh loan from a bank. For this loan, he has to pay a 30k of premium per month. Since it was a real estate investment, after 2 years, like as of now, he is making 40k plus from that commercial complex. This is the best example of an asset. Asset means which makes you money without putting any extra effort. Even you sleep, its value will be always increasing. We have discussed some examples of asset as well as liability from our day-to-day life. But how to convert a liability into an asset? There are different ways, but in this video I will be discussing about the very basics from our surrounding only that we can convert the liability into an asset. Our house is a liability, but this house can be converted as an asset. We can rent the extra space to the other person. We can make it as a homestay for the tourist also. Same goes for our cars also. Our car can be rented out to the other people. We are not always using the car, right? At the free time, we can rent that car to the other person. What do you think? Our smartphone is an asset or liability? It is one of the biggest liability for a student. It always takes money out of our pocket in terms of recharges, some fancy covers, etc. But this smartphone can be used to learn some skill that can pay us in future, like taking some courses on coding, video editing, etc. Even this smartphone can be used to take some professional videos and photos. See, ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा कि हमारे पास कोई liability हो ही ना. We are human beings, right? We have our needs, desire. What we can do is we can always keep in mind that our assets should be always much more greater than the liability. So our aim should be increasing the asset with the time and decreasing the liability. So what we can do? We can invest our money in the asset, and that asset will produce enough money in the future to buy our desired liability. In my friend father example, he first invested all his money in the commercial complex. Let's say after 5 years, he paid all his loan. So he will be getting enough money. From that money, he can buy his car or extra other liability he wanted to. We understood from this video, it is the spending behavior of the people that create difference between the rich and poor. We also understood that asset is something with time its value will be always increasing, and for the liabilities its value will be always depreciating with the time. That's all from my side for this video, guys. If you find this video useful, do share with your friend, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel.